one insult. One vow of revenge. One empire fell. In the 4th century before Christ, the Nanda dynasty ruled Magadha from their magnificent capital, Pataliputra. This was the most powerful kingdom in all of Bharat, wealthy beyond measure, militarily unmatched, politically supreme. The Nandas sat upon thrones built from centuries of conquest and tribute. Their court was a place where kings bowed and scholars trembled. But every throne, no matter how high, casts a shadow. And in that shadow, destiny was gathering. Chanakya arrived at the Nanda court as a Brahmin scholar, brilliant, sharp-tongued, unafraid. History remembers him as a man who spoke truth without hesitation, who saw through the masks of power with the clarity of morning light. He came seeking patronage, seeking influence, seeking perhaps to guide a kingdom toward wisdom. What he received instead was humiliation. Rejected. Cast out as unworthy. Some histories say the Nanda king mocked his appearance. Others speak of deliberate disrespect toward his counsel. The specifics matter less than the wound itself. For Chanakya was not a man to accept defeat in silence. Standing outside the palace walls of Pataliputra, Chanakya made a vow that would reshape the entire subcontinent. He would not rest, he would not yield, he would not seek reconciliation. Instead, he would find a boy untested by power, unmarked by royal privilege, and he would transform that boy into the instrument of the Nanda dynasty's destruction. For years, Chanakya searched. He traveled through kingdoms and villages, watching, waiting, assessing. Then he found him, Chandragupta. A young man of remarkable physical strength and inherent dignity, but raised in obscurity, unknown to power's intoxicating grip. Chanakya took him under his wing as a mentor takes an apprentice. He taught him statecraft, military strategy, the arts of diplomacy and deception. More importantly, he taught him hunger, not for food, but for purpose, for destiny, for greatness. Together, they moved like shadows gathering at dusk. Chanakya used his brilliant mind to forge alliances, to exploit the Nanda Empire's vulnerabilities, to turn rivals into soldiers. He connected Chandragupta with Parvataka, a regional king who had his own reasons to hate the Nandas. He built networks of spies and merchants who became his eyes and ears across the kingdom. The armies clashed. Chandragupta led them forward. By 322 BCE, the Nanda dynasty had fallen. Chandragupta Maurya ascended the throne of Magadha, and Chanakya became his chief minister, his guide, his architect of governance. What followed was the construction of the Maurya Empire, the greatest empire Bharat had ever known. From a single insult came an empire that would stretch from the northwest mountains to the southern coasts, from the eastern rivers to the western seas. Chanakya's Arthashastra, his treatise on statecraft, would become the blueprint for political philosophy across centuries. The boy he mentored would become known as Chandragupta Maurya, and his grandson Ashoka would transform this empire into something even greater, an empire guided by dharma and compassion. Chanakya never sat upon a throne. He never sought a crown. His victory was subtler, deeper, more complete. He had proven that wisdom, patience, and strategic brilliance could accomplish what armies alone could not. The story of Chanakya teaches us something essential about how the world truly changes. We live in an age of immediate reaction, of social media fury, of instant revenge. Chanakya's path was different. He took his pain, legitimate, real, deep, and transformed it into purpose. He did not seek to humiliate his enemy in return. He sought to build something greater than his grievance. This is not passivity. This is not forgiveness without consequence. This is strategic patience. This is vision. The insulted scholar became the mind that remade a kingdom. His legacy whispers across the centuries, your greatest power lies not in responding to yesterday's wound, but in building tomorrow's monument. That is how empires rise. That is how history pivots on a single person's choice to transform pain into creation. If you hunger for the untold stories of Bharat, the strategies, the sacrifices, the souls who shaped our civilization, subscribe now. Ring the bell. Join us as we journey deeper into the wisdom of our ancestors. Because these are not just stories. These are mirrors. These are maps. And they are calling you home.